What if the secret to perfect biscuits wasn't about the butter or technique, but the ingredients that you put in? Today, we are going to make buttermilk biscuits using red 5 heirloom grains. Hi, I'm Karen, and this is Grandma's New England Kitchen. We're going to start with grinding the grains. This is an organic red 5. It's a hard wheat. I'm going to do a half and half. I'm going to do half of the red 5, and then the other half that I'll do is a soft white wheat. This is a little noisy. I will try my best to mute the sound. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and add in the soft white wheat. And this is where we'll end up with a half and half. Now what we're going to do is sift out most of the bran and germ. The reason we do this is we don't want rock hard biscuits.
Plug it in, plug it in.
You would be doing that. So you're basically moving the flour around to get it to sift through. And this is some nice sifted flour coming out. There is still some bran and germ in it, but we are removing a lot of it. As you can see, the bran and germ starting to bounce around at the top here. This is all of the flour after we did sift it, and it is red 5, and there is a white soft wheat in here also, but it is all fresh ground. And what we want is 2 cups of flour. So what I do, one of the best things to do to make sure that you get an even 2 cups, it's not too packed down, is you want to spoon your flour into the measuring cup. Slightly, don't pack it down, and then just level it off. And there's 1 cup. Let's get the second cup in there. So it's going to be 2 cups of flour. And the red 5 is actually going to give extra flavor to your biscuits than using just store-bought flours. Okay, so there's the 2 cups. Then the next thing we are going to do is add our salt, baking soda, and baking powder. This will take 4 teaspoons of baking powder. So 4 teaspoons of baking powder and only 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And a teaspoon of salt, and I use Redmond's real salt. Then we'll get all of this mixed together. And let me just clean this up and then we'll go on to the liquids. Okay, so for the liquid ingredients, that does play a part, and I do use butter, which we are going to grate, but I also use lard. And I learned this cool little trick from Carla Hall to take the fat. Let me do this first. I need 8 ounces or 1 cup of buttermilk. And then this is a Wagyu tallow. And she talked about putting it right down into the milk and mixing it up so it emulsifies, and that gets distributed evenly through the flour. And our puppy dog's back there whining if you hear that. She wants to be part of this. So let me go ahead and mix this up real quick. So it's really only about 10 seconds just to get it mixed up in there. And if you can see, there's little chunks on the blade, and you can even see it up here. That's what happens to it when you mix it up. And now, before we go on to that, we are going to grate the butter. The butter just came out of the freezer. I will just go ahead on a box grater. And this is going to allow the butter to be distributed evenly. So at the beginning when I said the butter wasn't the most important, it is very important. This is a grass-fed, this is actually Kerrygold butter. And try to get this grated before it melts on me. And this is a half a cup of butter. I did plan on making sure I didn't hurt my fingers, so there is just a little bit more than a half a cup of butter there. Now what we'll do is go ahead and mix this lightly in the flour. And what you're trying to do is coat the little pieces of butter so they are throughout the flour. And this is what's going to give you those beautiful layers. They're going to fluff up when you go to bake it. There's water in it, so as the steam creates it, it's going to create the lift in your biscuits. And get the rest of the butter down in there. One thing about making biscuits, it's not a clean job. It's a very messy job. Okay, so then the next thing you want to do is create a well down in the middle. And the buttermilk mixture that we made is going to go right down in the middle of that well. And then just fold it over. You do not want to over mix your dough. It's going to be a shaggy dough and a very loose dough. Now, one thing with fresh milled grains, it does take a while. It's not like store-bought for it to start soaking up the liquid. So I am going to give this about 10 minutes and then I'll be back. Okay, this did take a little bit longer than 15 minutes. If you are making these with store-bought flour, you will not have to do that rest. but when you're using whole grains that you freshly mill, it does take time for the flour to soak this up. So now what we're going to do is you want to liberally flour your surface. So put a lot of flour down. And scoop the dough. Get all of it. Okay. Pat this down some, and then a lot of flour on the top. The last thing you want is for this to stick. So make sure you use a lot of flour here. And some people use a rolling pin. I do not. And now what we're going to do is start laminating it. So just go ahead and square everything off. And you want to start folding it over. So fold it over once. Fold it over again. And this is what's going to help create those beautiful layers and the flakiness. So let's go ahead and pat it out again. And you're going to get more structure to the dough each time you do this too. So let's fold it over again. And one more time. Don't be afraid to add more flour. Turn it. And again, pat out. Fold it over. And fold it over again. Turn it. And this will be the last fold. I don't know if the camera is picking up these flakes of butter in here, but they're all the way through. And each time we fold it, it's laminating it. Okay, so here we go. Last fold. And now we'll pat them out. And now we are going to cut out the biscuits. Best thing to do is flour your cutter. You want to go straight down, make sure you're at the bottom, and then turn a little bit. Bring it out and place it on. Same thing, down all the way, turn a little bit. So just keep taking it and then make sure you turn it over. And why we're turning it over is when you take it down, it pinches this bottom. So this is what's going to allow it to rise up instead of holding it down. Get them as tight as you can, and here in a little bit, let's see, can I get one more out of here? No. So now you want to bring this all together. Turn it on its side and press it back down. That way you still end up with a nice smooth surface. And again, down. Turn it over. Down. it over. Everybody always, usually that ugly one at the end, but hopefully we have 8 pretty ones there. And the pretty side will go this way. And this is just some extra. You can try to make it into something. It's that ugly duckling one that everyone always has at the end. Try to get one more out. It's an ugly duckling one, but here, let me do this.
No waste.
No waste. Of course, no waste. There we go. Try to get them as close together as you can so they leave a little bit of space, but you want them to use each other to rise up. And that's it. Make sure you preheat your oven to 450 degrees before doing this. I'm going to go ahead and bake these. There is one last thing that I want to show you to do to your biscuits. So you want to make sure you pinch down, put a little dimple in the top of each. That way, when they rise up, your biscuits are flat at the top instead of domed. And I'm going to go put these in the oven, and I'll be back to show you what they look like when they're all done. Okay, they are out of the oven. They are very hot. And that little knob of butter that I kept to protect my hands. Now that little knob of butter, you want to butter the top of the biscuits. Never can have too much butter. And these are way too hot to try right now. So we're going to let them cool just a little bit. And then we'll be back to try them. And I'll actually have my husband get on camera with me to try them. Ooh, look at this thing.
Yummy, yummy for the tummy.
You want the butter?
Oh, yeah.
It won't come out. No, I'm holding the camera.
Yeah, it'll come out.
There you go. He can't wait.
Cap it.
Okay, we'll be back when it's not so hot to try that one. Okay, so my husband gets to do the taste test.
Okay, this is the best part of this film. Hot, it's hot. Awesome. This is great.
You want some chicken soup with that?
Anything she makes is just
Okay.